I'm a top-tier punk yet I transmigrated into a simp male supporting role who was cyberbullied to death. In the original story, the male lead Makoto deliberately encouraged the original host to pursue his fiancée Willow just to watch him make a fool of himself. Because he knew very well that Willow would never take a poor loser like him seriously. So when photos of me and the female lead were posted on the campus forum, my roommate Makoto immediately left an anonymous comment underneath. He jeered, "Oh, I heard campus beauty Willow has someone she likes. Don't tell me it's him back in the dorm, he kept instigating me, if you like her just confess boldly. She doesn't even have a boyfriend. If you don't try how would you know what if she actually likes you after saying that he shot his companion a look?" The other guy instantly got the hint. "Yeah bro, you're this handsome. If I were a girl I'd like you too." However, the next second a row of bullet comments floated before my eyes. They read, "She doesn't have a boyfriend, but she does have a fiancé. The male lead is seriously too righteous." He noticed the male supporting role had a crush on Willow, and for the sake of brotherhood he kept hiding the fact that Willow is his fiancé. Another bullet comment said, "I'm dying laughing. A nobody like him isn't actually going to confess, right? The female lead only likes his roommate. As long as the clown male supporting role confesses, tonight the male and female leads will officially announce their relationship." I curled my lips into a smirk and posted a faceless gym selfie on a brand new account. Caption: "A good friend is trying to set me up with his childhood sweetheart and insists I confess to her. What should I do?" Chapter 1. Because the photo was tagged with a campus's IP address, it was quickly pushed across the entire school network. Alumni commented, "Are you interested in his childhood sweetheart?" Someone else wrote, "That's not a friend, that's practically your godfather. He even handed his childhood sweetheart over to you." A girl commented, starry eyes, broad shoulders, narrow waist, lean muscle build, 8-pack abs. Slurp slurp. I'm in love, I'm in love." Another person asked, "Is his childhood sweetheart pretty?" I replied to them one by one. To the first, "I do like her quite a lot." To the second, "Then I really have to thank my godfather. He's been matchmaking for us all along. Anytime she's at an event, he calls me to join." To the third, "Thanks." To the fourth, "She really is beautiful. But our family backgrounds don't quite match. I'm not very brave when it comes to pursuing her." Soon the alumni started joking around. "You've already made it into this school, why still worry about family background? Unless she's some ultra-rich heiress like Willow, then maybe you'd have to think twice. What's there to worry about? Go for it, bro. You've got your roommate backing you up. What are you afraid of?" I gave each of their comments a like. The bullet comments streamed rapidly across my vision. One bullet comment read, "What a show-off male supporting role. I hate guys like this who flash their abs at the slightest chance. Girls never date this type, shallow and overconfident. Showing off abs is just a low-cost way to pick up girls. Does he really think this will attract the female lead's attention? Dream on. She only follows Makoto." Another one said, "Posting photos like this is pure narcissism. He thinks he's handsome, but it only makes girls feel he's cheap. Good thing the female lead can't see this. What if she misunderstands the male lead?" The bullet comments were live. If used well, they revealed a great deal of information. I curled my lips slightly. Even though I didn't know the female lead's account, I knew my roommate Makoto's. I tapped into his following list. He followed only 36 people in total. A bullet comment flashed by, "I'm dying. Don't tell me the male supporting role is trying to find the female lead's account. Give it up. No way he'll find it." I checked them one by one and finally locked onto an account named Momo with only one follower. It was the only account that followed only the male lead, and its IP address had always remained in this city. I tapped follow. The bullet comments exploded. "Oh my god. How did he find it?" Willow's account had always been quiet. Aside from a few close friends in their circle, no one knew that Momo was hers. Seeing the sudden new follower, she frowned slightly. Nickname: "Dye my hair completely white." Who was that? She didn't think much of it and put her phone away. She assumed the follow was probably just an accidental tap. The bullet comments gloated. The female lead didn't even check his profile. "Dye my hair completely white. Do you even own a Ducati Panigale V4R to justify white hair? Total attention seeker." Another bullet comment read, "This story follows the childhood sweethearts and arranged marriage turned love trope. The female lead is pure, the male lead responsible. She'll only ever love him. No matter how hard the male supporting role jumps around, he's just a clown. Yet another said because the female lead is so aloof, the male lead never dared to make their relationship public, afraid she might want to break off the engagement. That's why he sent the male supporting role to confess. He knew she'd never look twice at some broke loser like him. When the male supporting role foolishly went through with it, the male lead would seize the moment to announce their relationship, save the female lead from embarrassment, and win her heart with a domineering display of devotion. The clown male supporting role is nothing more than a touchstone for the main couple's love. I stared at my bank account balance. Before I transmigrated into this body, Makoto had given the original owner advice. He said that confessing to a wealthy heiress like Willow required proper spectacle. The male supporting role had to wear a luxury watch, a custom-tailored suit, and prepare 999 roses. Altogether, it would cost over 100,000. Driven by his inferiority complex, the male supporting role gritted his teeth and paid for it all. Now the balance on the card was 0. Credit cards maxed out. I looked at the number coldly. Without hesitation, I sold the suit and the watch and returned the flowers. Punk rule number 1: money is for women to see, not for women to spend. Chapter 2: Makoto's account maintained the classic rich, tall, and handsome persona. Every day he posted luxury watches, never the same one twice. Besides that, he was obsessed with crafting the image of a devoted fiancée. On his account he appeared faithful and deeply affectionate. To please his fiancée, he made it seem as though whatever she wanted he would provide instantly. However, since their business marriage had only recently been arranged and had not yet been made public, he never revealed their real identities online. Every syrupy love confession and romantic relationship wisdom post he wrote received tens of thousands of likes. People flocked to the comments to ship the two of them. In fact, he hadn't had that many followers at first. Everything changed after he posted a photo of a luxury car worth $3 million that the girl had given him. The post exploded overnight. Someone commented, "What kind of goddess-level girlfriend is this?" The original owner casually replied, "Bro, there were too many people outside just now. Let me kneel to you properly now. You've really got to teach me. How do you even chase someone like that?" It was just a playful meme-style comment, nothing serious. But Makoto responded with contempt, "My fiancée has high standards. She's not interested in just any random nobody. She comes from a great family and has an excellent education. You have no idea how long I worked to win her over." After that, he liked another comment below. That comment read in the end, "What matters most is being well-matched in social status." The entire thread was filled with people wildly shipping them. A wealthy heir giving up studying abroad to attend C University for love. Cold and aloof heiress vs warm childhood sweetheart. As long as the heiress turns around, she'll see her childhood friend waiting behind her all along. After the clouds parted and the moon appeared, once the heiress agreed to the arranged marriage, her attitude changed instantly. She used to be distant, but now she's clingy, sticking to him every day. However, as the only person who knew the full original plot, I know. Their real romantic storyline only begins after I, the cannon fodder male supporting role, exit the stage. It follows a marriage first, love later trope, and right now the two of them are only going on frequent dates to cultivate feelings because of their arranged marriage alliance. Those shameless main leads were using the original owner as a disposable tool. Chapter 3: I tugged at the corner of my lips and uploaded a video of myself playing the guitar to my profile. A top-tier punk's essential qualities: play music, rap, master all kinds of instruments. I captioned it, wrote a new song, dedicated to my muse. Many people thought I was trying too hard to look cool and clicked into my profile. Soon they started teasing in the comments, "What a coincidence. This edgy hypebeast is from a campus too. Or did you just fake the IP as a campus? Show us your official enrollment verification." I ignored them, because very soon alumni from a campus recognized that the background of my first photo was clearly a school dormitory. The most liked post on my profile was a faceless selfie. Caption: troubled. My good brother keeps matchmaking me with his childhood sweetheart and wants me to confess to her. What should I do? Makoto would never connect this account to his honest, socially awkward loser roommate. After all, the original owner couldn't do anything well. Some time ago, Makoto had invited him on stage at a birthday banquet to perform a guitar solo. Because he wasn't skilled, he embarrassed himself. Of course, it was Makoto's idea. He had hastily taught the original owner a short segment and told him that if he wanted to attract girls, he needed to know how to play instruments. He played terribly. Everyone mocked and ridiculed him. Only Willow kindly stepped in to ease the situation and offered me a few words of encouragement. From that moment on, the original owner secretly fell in love with the female lead. He didn't know she was Makoto's fiancée. Egged on by Makoto, he foolishly went to confess. In the end, Makoto and Willow publicly announced their relationship on the spot. The original owner lost all face in front of the entire school. Later, the male lead even wrote a post describing how he had driven away an extreme suitor who kept harassing his fiancée. That post turned the original owner into a self-righteous, disgusting creep in everyone's eyes. He was cyberbullied to death. Bullet comments flashed across my vision. The male supporting role is such a poser. Is he trying to farm attention? It's fine. After he gets rejected tonight, he won't be able to act up anymore. Makoto had originally planned to chat with Willow, but he noticed that her follower count had suddenly increased by 1. Suppressing his anger, he clicked into my profile. After a glance, an uncomfortable feeling rose in his chest. Even though there was no face shown, he had a vague sense of familiarity. And the account style irritated him even more, either flexing abs or showing off skills, guitar, motorcycles, boxing. The content was absurdly rich. Since only he knew about Willow's private account, he suspected that perhaps a rival family had learned something and was trying to poach her. So he directly tagged Willow under one of my photos and posted, "The heiress has arrived, everyone step aside, back up, let my girlfriend see first, she loves this kind of physique. What do you think, heiress, like it?" Willow paused on the screen for barely a second. The photo flashed past. She rolled her eyes and replied, "Boring." Makoto burst out laughing when he saw the reply. He immediately shared the incident in their social circle as a joke. Bullet comments popped up again. "Ha ha ha, I told you photos are the lowest tier. A rich heiress wouldn't even spare him a glance. I'm dying. All that posing and showing off for nothing." Another comment read, "Just a clown." If he hadn't confessed, the female lead probably wouldn't have publicly announced the relationship with the male lead so soon. The next one said, "After all, the female lead is secretly working as a game streamer behind her family's back right now, playing that game. What's it called? Magic Sword. She's worried that going public would affect things. Her family is super old-fashioned. They're against her showing her face as a streamer. Only the male lead understands and supports her." Another comment added, "The game will blow up in the future and the female lead will gain tens of millions of followers." I sifted through the information hidden in the bullet comments. A few days ago, I had already registered an account for the game on its official website. Makoto still didn't even know the game existed. Using the game to approach Willow, that would be the perfect entry point. Chapter 4. My in-game ID was still dye my hair completely white. While grinding levels, I switched screens to message Willow at the same time. In the original story, the female supporting character Sophia was also farming monsters here. She was Willow's roommate and part of the same social circle. After reading the male lead's post back then, she became convinced that the original owner had harassed Willow. She doxed him in their group chat, exposed his personal information online, and hurled endless abuse at him. Stupid. Extreme. Self-righteous. Perfect to use as a blade. I locked onto Sophia, teamed up with her, helped her defeat a boss, then turned on voice chat and said in an irresistibly deep, velvety tone, "Don't mention it." Then I disbanded the team and left in style. Sophia stood frozen in place for a long moment, unmoving. Willow looked at her phone as a furious voice message from Sophia popped up. "Willow, there's some damn pervert, he killed the boss, ninja looted my gear, and even told me, don't mention it. I hate that idiot called dye my hair completely white, shameless jerk." Bullet comments flashed. "Is the male supporting role insane? A grown man stealing a girl's equipment." Another one read, "Men just love acting cheap. Teasing girls is just a way to get attention. Keep dreaming. This female supporting character only likes gentle, warm guys." After following Willow, I sent her only one sentence: "Thanks for helping me out last time. Can I treat you to dinner tonight?" Then I uploaded the game screen recording with the tag, Magic Sword, to my new account. Caption: "Daily carry for a girl, smooth mechanics, high energy editing, explosive soundtrack." It quickly gained traction. Willow stared at the familiar ID, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. She tapped on my profile picture. The first thing she opened was the edited gameplay clip. The thumbnail showed the exact moment Sophia's gear got looted. Bullet comments scrolled across the video. "I'm dying. Who even dates idiots like this?" Suddenly relieved. The female lead definitely won't pay much attention to the male supporting role. So what if he's good at games? What difference does it make? At the end of the video, a low husky voice suddenly sounded, "Don't mention it." The bullet comments noticeably increased at that exact moment. Willow's finger paused slightly. Then she dragged the progress bar back and listened again. Just as I expected. In the original setting, Willow was highly sensitive to voices. She could practically fall for someone based on voice alone. After marriage, Makoto only needed a few sweet words to make her blush furiously. That was why I deliberately kept the voice clip in. I bet she would watch to the end. Willow restrained herself and replayed it only once before exiting the video. Logically, she should have left my profile entirely. But she still glanced at my daily fitness photos. Something about them felt vaguely familiar. Then she tapped into the new video I had posted today. This time it was a clip of me playing the guitar. The melody flowed out smoothly and effortlessly. Caption: if tonight's confession fails, I'll rename this account Breakup Season. If it succeeds, I'll rename it Graduation Season. Chapter 5. She suddenly figured out who the person on the other end was. Because Makoto had just sent her a message. "Meet downstairs at your dorm tonight. My roommate has something to tell you." Willow replied, "George again, so annoying." "Didn't you tell him about us?" Makoto answered vaguely. "Aren't you reluctant to go public? It might be better if you reject him privately." She tried to search her memory for any reason she might have given George the wrong idea. The only thing she could recall was the guitar incident. In her impression, George was just mildly handsome, nothing particularly memorable. And whenever he got close to her, he would stutter. Online, however, he seemed much more active. Logically, she shouldn't agree to have dinner with him privately. Yet she hesitated. She first tapped into the comments under my guitar video and wrote, "Just learned you've improved really fast." The bullet comments exploded. Someone commented, "Why is the female lead replying to the male supporting role?" Another said, "The male lead passed grade 8 piano exams. What does this poser have to compete with?" I replied with a Lu Bu reaction meme and said confidently, "That's right, just learned it. After you encouraged me last time, I had to step up my game." Willow looked at the chat box, her finger pausing slightly. Then she sent me a message. 5 o'clock then. I'll come find you at 5. Makoto had arranged to meet her at 8 that evening. She believed that rejecting me earlier in private would be more appropriate. She didn't think that the brief ripple she had just felt would make her betray her fiancé. In the original story, the female lead was reserved and conservative. So tonight's confession from the male supporting role was destined to fail. My next move was simple: clear my name. Shift from scumbag chasing his best friend's fiancé to honest guy who didn't know the truth. I curled my lips and replied with a heart gesture emoji. Then I added another message. Blunt and straightforward: "Can we not order anything too expensive?" begging. JPG. Willow raised an eyebrow in confusion at the conversation. I sent a screenshot. "My roommate gave me this idea. Said I had to wear a suit, a luxury watch, and prepare 999 roses. After that, I basically had no money left." The screenshot showed Makoto's chat history, the purchase links he had sent me, and the payment page displaying 180,000. Willow fell silent as she read the messages. Less than 3 seconds later, she replied, "Don't listen to his nonsense. Return everything. I don't care about that at all. I didn't overplay it." I immediately went along with her suggestion. The bullet comments began cursing. "He clearly already returned everything, but still throws shade at the male lead. Shameless much, not just a scumbag. Also stingy after saying that she definitely won't order anything expensive. And with Willow's personality, she might even pay for him." Meanwhile, Makoto was replying to fan comments. His followers were curious about what his girlfriend really looked like. He responded to the shipping fans in the comments, "She doesn't like attention. I can try to find some childhood photos of us." The comment about posting childhood photos instantly shot to the top as the most liked reply. Mine was hanging right below it in second place. The bullet comments celebrated wildly. "Childhood sweethearts are the sweetest." I let out a scoff. If they had known each other for 10 years and it was true love, they would have been together long ago. Why would the male lead need to resort to tricks like this? To be honest, even though I was a top-tier punk, I still had basic professional ethics. Married women or girls with boyfriends were never my targets. But if someone insisted on messing with my head and treating me like a clown, that was a different story. Chapter 6 Today was the first day of the game's official launch. Not many players had started spending heavily yet. The moment Willow logged in, she saw a familiar name suddenly shoot up the spending leaderboard. ID, dye my hair completely white, ranked second. Thinking back to our earlier conversation, she knew that with George's family background, he absolutely couldn't afford that level of spending. Liking her and wanting to confess was one thing, but recklessly pouring money into the game just to impress her was another. The bullet comments were all cursing me for being a reckless spendthrift. At the same time, Willow sent me a message. "I'm here." Willow stood at the school entrance. She wore a fitted white dress. Her makeup was light, paired with a nude lipstick that made her look even more pure and clean. A soft breeze brushed past strands of hair, gently grazing her cheek. Already strikingly beautiful, she instantly drew the attention of many people nearby. The next second, a motorcycle stopped in front of her. I removed my helmet at just the right moment. When she saw me, her eyes flickered in surprise. I flashed a bright smile. "Hop on." Willow hesitated for only a second before taking the helmet and putting it on. The wind roared past her ears. Along the way, she held onto me tightly. A simple psychological effect. I wanted her to blur the line between adrenaline and attraction. The destination was a private kitchen restaurant. Normally, this wasn't a place I could afford. But when I took the menu, I showed no hesitation and ordered directly. When the dishes arrived, her gaze paused slightly. Every plate was exactly to her taste. I teased, "Looks like my wallet can only afford to treat you to one meal." She rolled her eyes. "Spend responsibly. If you stop dumping money into games, you'll be able to afford food." Straightforward as ever. I lifted my eyes and steered the topic directly. "How did you know I spent money? You play Magic Sword?" Willow gave a restrained nod. The conversation flowed easily. For most of the meal, we talked about the game. The woman sitting across from me was relaxed, her brows soft, clearly in a good mood. I didn't rush to confess. I simply narrowed the distance naturally through conversation. From the game's soundtrack, we moved to music preferences. From the game's narrative writing, we transitioned to favorite books. Coincidentally, wherever she led the conversation, I could follow. She also became noticeably more proactive. Bullet comments flashed. "Wait, since when does the male supporting role know this much? Why does the female lead look starry-eyed? Is this right?" I smiled. When curiosity and admiration start mixing in someone's mind, it's easy for them to stumble. I cast Willow a light glance. Before I died in my previous life, I was more than a decade older than her. If I couldn't make her impressed with that advantage, then I must have lived in vain. Of course, the persona couldn't collapse. So when the topic turned to musical instruments, I gave an awkward smile. She looked puzzled at my sudden silence. "That's beyond me." I sighed and admitted openly, "With my family situation, I could only teach myself guitar." She nodded and began sharing amusing stories about learning piano herself. I responded at the right moments, my words laced with appreciation and praise. Half joking, I said, "Beauty and talent in one package. No wonder so many people are after you." A faint blush colored her cheeks. I quietly observed her expression. At Willow's age, she had no shortage of admirers. Young ones, bold ones, quiet ones. She had seen them all. Compared to being the lower-positioned secret admirer, I preferred holding the initiative. Because she was immersed in the conversation, she wasn't particularly guarded around me. So when I stood up and stepped closer, she didn't sense anything wrong at all. Her cool eyes lifted to look at me, carrying a trace of confusion. Chapter 7 The lighting inside the private room was dim. A faint scent of lavender from her lingered at the tip of my nose. Her pupils contracted slightly. I leaned down, studying her radiant face, the one clearly stirred by emotion, yet still pretending to be cold and composed. I said, "Willow, do you know why I asked you out tonight?" I continued. "I asked Makoto. He said you don't have a boyfriend." Then I shifted the tone. "So, can I kiss you?" Before she could react, the kiss overtook her. Direct. Pure. Dominant. The bullet comments exploded. "What the hell, he just kissed her like that, who confesses and kisses at the same time?" Another comment flashed by. Why didn't the female lead dodge? When the kiss ended, Willow finally came to her senses. Her face flushed as she pushed me away. "I have a marriage arrangement," she said. "I have a fiancé." Willow lowered her gaze. If one ignored the desire she hadn't fully suppressed in her eyes, her rejection might have seemed more resolute. I shrugged, wearing an expression that clearly said, "Don't lie to me." Fiancé, who, if you have a fiancé, how come even your childhood friend doesn't know I opened the campus forum? There was a photo of me and Willow together. Makoto's words encouraging me to pursue her were written plainly beneath it. It even said she doesn't have a boyfriend. Go for it, Doc. Willow parted her lips, wanting to explain. But now, staring at that sentence, she found herself speechless. Punk rule number 2. Control the other person's emotions at all times. Extreme emotional swings leave the deepest imprints. I asked softly, "Did my confession trouble you? You can just tell me." Before she could answer, I gave a calm smile and stood up. "Don't worry. I won't cling to you." Willow bit her lower lip. Conflict was written plainly across her face. She didn't know how to begin explaining herself to me. I interrupted her turmoil with a teasing tone. "Why does your expression look worse than mine? I'm the one who got rejected." Then I looked at her steadily. "Before this, I did suspect you were deliberately creating a single-girl persona." I paused briefly, then smiled again. "After all, someone as outstanding as you being single for so long doesn't make much sense." Willow froze slightly, subconsciously tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. I continued, "But after getting closer to you, I realized I was being narrow-minded." Then came the final turn, the question the anchor left behind in her mind. I met her eyes seriously. "The person you're willing to spend your life with, you must really love him, right? I wish you happiness." Her gaze dropped. She didn't answer my question. Some things only need to be said to a point. I didn't press further. Instead, I lowered my head and edited a photo I had taken on the way out. Out of the corner of her eye, Willow glanced at my screen, then quickly looked away. I looked at her casually. "Maybe we can still be friends," she responded quietly. The bullet comments flared up again. "The male supporting role is disgusting. She hasn't even fallen for her childhood friend yet, and he asks that he's just making her uncomfortable. Oh no, why is the female lead secretly switching screens to check George's account?" The caption I posted read, "Lose something, gain something." Before leaving, I saw that Willow had followed me back. She also transferred me the money for dinner. Note: no more spending on games. Eat properly. That kiss was worth it. It was her first kiss. She would never forget it. And this round I had the moral high ground. Her boundaries had slipped, yet she felt too guilty to blame me. Two birds with one stone. A person's bottom line always lowers little by little. Chapter 8. When I was dropping Willow off at her dorm, I had just stopped the motorcycle when I ran straight into Makoto. His face was pale. He stared at us without blinking. I pretended not to notice the strange tension and casually asked, "Why are there so many people here tonight?" I looked around in feigned confusion. From nearby, voices drifted over. "Didn't the forum say there'd be a confession at 8? Why is the main character so late?" Another said, "Hey, isn't that Willow? Why is she getting off George's bike? Are they together now?" Willow had assumed tonight was just a simple offline meeting. She had no idea Makoto had gone all out. Flowers everywhere, a crowd gathered to watch. And Makoto had never expected that I would return together with Willow. Both of their expressions were awkward. I paused, then let a smile spread across my face. 3 parts understanding, 3 parts forced composure, 4 parts self-mockery. I sighed softly. "So, you're his fiancée?" I had no idea. Makoto panicked. He hadn't expected me to say it out loud. The crowd immediately began whispering. "What's going on? Willow and Makoto have a marriage arrangement." Someone else added, "Wait, didn't Makoto say the flowers were for helping his roommate confess?" Willow's expression turned cold as she looked at Makoto. "If you don't want the engagement to stand, you can say so directly." There was warning and scrutiny in her eyes. She shot me a complicated look. After softly saying, "Sorry," to me, she turned and left. Everyone stared at one another. Makoto stood there utterly embarrassed. After that night, his daily, devoted fiancé posts stopped updating. He kept opening the Momo account again and again. Before, Willow had only followed him. Now there was one more, a punk. Because I had blocked Makoto. So he had no choice but to register a new account to check my profile. Although none of my photos showed my face, I had posted a picture taken on the day of the confession before heading out. Once he recognized me, panic set in. He repeatedly refreshed my profile, desperately searching for any hint of ambiguity between me and Willow. But all he found were conversations that looked completely normal, like friends. He couldn't even find a reason to ask Willow to unfollow me. Yet recently Willow had been leaving comments under my videos. After reading them, his face turned even paler. The male lead had a somewhat avoidant personality. His mother had run away with another man when he was young, so he had an ingrained distrust toward women. Before this, he had often forced himself to appear magnanimous while watching other men pursue Willow. But every single one of them had failed. He thought this time would be no different. After all, he and Willow shared years of history. Yet Willow's replies to him had grown consistently cold. He couldn't read her thoughts, and the two had fallen into a quiet Cold War. For the first time, he began to regret it. Regret suggesting that I pursue his own fiancée. Friends within their circle kept probing him about the situation with Willow. After hesitating for a while, he did exactly what he had done in the original storyline. He switched back to his main account and posted a rumor-filled thread to steer public opinion. The gist was this: he had a roommate he had always treated well. Seeing that his roommate came from a poor family, he had helped him many times. Yet that roommate had shamelessly fallen for his fiancée. He and his fiancée had only just confirmed their arranged marriage and hadn't had time to tell others. So he generously chose not to pursue the matter. After all, his roommate didn't know. Ignorance was no crime. If there was any betrayal, it would have to be his fiancée's responsibility. Throughout the post, he laced subtle insinuations, painting the roommate as dark-hearted, twisting the pursuit into something that sounded like harassment and obsession. Chapter 9. The bullet comments flooded in. I sent this guy just an ungrateful snake. You don't mess with your friend's woman, especially after he helped you so much. He didn't know Willow was your fiancée. Stop covering for him. Is he blind? Couldn't he see you too? We're that close. Another comment read, bro, drop the magnanimous act. Just expose who he is. I'll gather people and take him down. Makoto's friends also jumped into the comments section, angrily defending him and steering public opinion in his favor. Once he confirmed the tide had fully turned toward him, he finally relaxed. A small-scale cyberbullying campaign began. People started trying to dig up the identity of the poster, and mine. Sophia caught wind of the gossip and commented, Willow isn't that kind of person. She'd never like a scumbag like that. Trash like him can only talk big. He's useless otherwise. Makoto responded in a gracious tone, don't scold him, everyone. I was at fault too. The moment he said that, the insults toward me multiplied. I let out a scoff, removed Makoto from my blacklist, and gave his post a like. Makoto froze when he saw the notification. His phone slipped from his hand and hit the floor. He glanced at my expression guiltily. After a long silence, he finally spoke. Sorry, George. I really didn't mean to keep it from you. He continued hypocritically, I've always treated you like a brother. I saw how much you liked Willow, so I just... He had clearly wanted to see me make a fool of myself. Now he was dressing it up as brotherly affection. I cut him off immediately. Hey brother, what are you saying? Of course not. What kind of person do you take me for then? I grinned playfully. Look at this mess. If I'd known she was your fiancée, I wouldn't have kissed her. Now it's great. Her first kiss is gone. Makoto's face turned deathly pale. There was a trace of resentment in his eyes now. I smiled again. Honestly, I still treat you as a good brother. Do you want me to stay away from Willow forever? Buyout price. 5 million. As long as you give me 5 million, I swear I'll never date her. Never marry her. He stared at me blankly. I frowned. If you don't want to, forget it. My feelings are valuable too. What if I actually win over a wealthy heiress? I can't even imagine that kind of life. After a moment of silence, he ground his teeth. Fine. But you'll record it. Say you'll never be with her. Never pursue her again. A recording meant leverage in his hands. Yet I simply smiled, answering meaningfully, sure. The bullet comments flew by. What is the male supporting role? Plotting that smile looks shady. Two-faced scumbag. I don't believe he'll actually give up the female lead. How can someone lie so naturally? Life continued as usual for me. I attended classes. Played games. On my account, I focused on updating game content. I didn't actively message Willow. But I often noticed records showing that Willow had been browsing my profile. Not only did she follow my gaming account, she was also watching my WeChat moments. In my previous life, I had been extremely disciplined. I maintained the same habits now. My moments were filled with gym sessions and weight training. Daily morning runs. The rest of the time studying as usual. Evenings reserved for gaming and leveling up. Through my posts, Willow could clearly see that I hadn't become dejected over emotional failure. Sometimes we even ran into each other in the mornings. I would calmly greet her. In reality, those locations were carefully selected, places she often liked to go. As long as she harbored even the slightest special thought, our encounters would feel like coincidence. Chapter 10. But that still wasn't enough. When I ran into Willow again, I went against my usual behavior and didn't greet her. Instead, I avoided her directly. A trace of disappointment flickered in her eyes, but that was as far as it went. With her pride, she wouldn't come looking for me on her own. Over the next 2 days, I didn't see her again. Bullet comments floated across the screen. The female lead has actually changed her feelings, she just refuses to admit it. She must have caught feelings during the kiss. Other bullet comments argued, impossible. Didn't you notice the female lead hasn't looked for the male supporting role anymore? Our Willow would never care about that kind of walking red flag. I let out a soft laugh. Whether she cared or not, a little test would reveal the answer. I posted directly online announcing that I'd be doing a gaming live stream tonight. At 8 in the evening, I started the stream on time, still without showing my face. There were only a handful of viewers. The top donor was someone named Momo. It was Willow's account. As expected of a rich young lady, she immediately sent 10 carnival gifts, pushing the stream onto the trending recommendations. She even sent me a private message to explain, just here to show support as a fellow gaming streamer. Willow stared at her phone. The screen was filled with people typing "handsome, carry me." She frowned slightly. A moment later her phone chimed again. Sophia sent a message. The guy who stole my gear goes to our school. I saw his live stream online sharing the link. Go check out the short video he posted yesterday. Those abs. I'm in love. His upper body is that ripped. If I find out his lower half is elementary school level, he's dead. I'm awful. I even called him a basement-dwelling loser before. He's actually really nice. He didn't hold a grudge and even accepted my friend request. She continued, sigh, but it seems like he has someone he likes. Willow, do you think he'd mind having another girlfriend? What if I just become the other woman? Willow replied, that's a terrible idea. Sophia paused for a second, but didn't take it seriously. She replied carelessly, I know your moral standards are high. But technically, he doesn't have a girlfriend right now, so I wouldn't even count as a homewrecker. He said during his stream that he likes 36D. I think if I squeeze a little, I still have a chance. By the time Willow realized what was happening, she had already curved her lips upward unconsciously. Chapter 11. Sophia sent me a private message. I'm from C University too. She added a cute apologetic sticker. Sorry. I shouldn't have called you names before. I replied, I was in the wrong too. At this point, my live stream already had over 10,000 viewers. I deliberately gave Sophia special treatment. In the game, I only took her along for missions. During the stream, I frequently engaged in flirtatious banter with her. Sophia was easy to win over. Of course, she didn't hold back on sending gifts in the live stream either. Just like a fangirl standing her idol, she showed up on schedule to hype me up. Very quickly, she became the stream's permanent top donor. Ever since she appeared, Momo had temporarily disappeared. As time passed, everyone could see there was something ambiguous going on between me and Sophia. People in the public chat had already started shipping us. Sophia even sent over a heavily edited photo of her so-called 36D figure. But it didn't take long before she noticed people in her social circle looking at her with knowing, amused expressions. Confused, she soon received a message from a friend. It read, "Don't you know he's George, the jerk you cursed out before? The person he used to like was your best friend Willow. Whose side are you even on? You were just trash-talking George under Makoto's post and now you're all over him online." Sophia fell silent. I watched the live stream. Sophia didn't show up today. She had logged out of the game as well. I immediately sensed something was off. After thinking for a moment, I sent Sophia a private message. I asked, "Can we meet? I've prepared a surprise for you." Sophia had still been hesitating, but her fingers were more honest than her thoughts. She replied with a single word, "Okay." I chose the school auditorium as the meeting place. Bullet comments scrolled past. Classic jerk move. When the female lead won't bite, he goes after the female side character instead. I laughed. I didn't like Sophia. But someone like Willow had always had too many things come easily in life. Some things, only after losing them do people truly learn to cherish them. Chapter 12. Sophia stood outside the door, her heart pounding with unease. There was no way she would fall for that kind of jerk. Back when George pursued Willow, he hadn't known she already had a boyfriend. Just like she hadn't known that the person George used to like was Willow. She couldn't be called the other woman, and George shouldn't automatically be labeled a jerk either. Forget it. She would just meet him once today. Just once. After wavering back and forth for a while, she pushed the door open. In the next second, specks of light filled her vision. The center of the auditorium had been cleared out into an open space. A path of warm-colored lights stretched forward. On both sides stood rows of flowers arranged neatly in semicircles. Tiny fairy lights were wrapped around the branches, glowing softly like stars scattered across the night. A smiling male voice rang out. George stood beneath the lights holding a bouquet. "I've been preparing for this day for a long time, Sophia. Will you be my girlfriend?" Sophia's mind went blank for a second. When hunting prey, you go straight for the finish. By the time I cupped her face in my hands, she was still dazed. Tonight's live stream included a face reveal and a public confession. The stream's popularity skyrocketed. I knew Willow was on the other side of the screen watching me. Because the top donor had changed back to Momo. Sophia's shyness and confusion were written all over her face. She didn't even know how she had arrived in such a haze and left in an even bigger haze. She only knew that her heartbeat had skipped for half a second. After she nodded in a daze, George kissed her in front of the camera. A lot of people saw it. Back in the dorm, Sophia let out a scream as the memory replayed in her mind. She buried her head under the blanket. So embarrassing. When Willow walked in with a dark expression, she happened to see Sophia rolling around on the bed. The moment their eyes met, Sophia looked slightly guilty. But very quickly she straightened up with confidence. Now she was the official girlfriend. There was no way Willow would try to steal her boyfriend right after saying that she even warned Willow not to seduce her man. Chapter 13. After Makoto saw that I had confessed to Sophia, he relaxed a little. He approached me again to apologize, putting on the act of a good brother. Then he revealed the real reason he wanted to get on my good side. "Bro, can you delete that post?" I knew which one he meant. The post titled, "My good brother wants me to confess to his childhood sweetheart." What should I do? I looked at him with a half-smile. His account hadn't been exposed yet. But under my post, plenty of netizens were already roasting him alive. He had originally asked Willow to persuade me to delete it, but she refused outright. So he had no choice but to come to me personally. Ever since my livestream confession, my follower count had been growing at rocket speed. I broke 1 million followers overnight. He was starting to panic. I smirked. "Sure." Before his smile could fully appear, I added coldly, "But it'll cost you 5 million. His smile vanished. "Just to delete one post you want 5 million, he said. "Aren't we friends?" I almost laughed at how delusional that sounded. I looked at him with a trace of pity. "Friends, who are you trying to fool in the end?" Faced with the choice between losing face from getting flamed online or losing money, he chose to lose money. Gritting his teeth, he pointed at me and snapped, "Don't push it too far." I took the money in a great mood. Makoto was so angry his chest hurt. After that, whenever I was in the dorm, he deliberately brought up his engagement plans with Willow. He would talk while secretly watching my reaction out of the corner of his eye. I only found it amusing. The stupidest mistake of all is targeting the wrong person to conquer. Chapter 14. After Magic Sword exploded in popularity, Willow's follower count also increased by several 100,000. But her mood didn't improve much. She had a huge argument with Makoto. With zero sense of boundaries, he questioned why she had started live streaming without asking for his opinion first. Her family was against it too. They believed that as a wealthy heiress she should be mindful of her public image. Only George encouraged her to keep going. Soon after, the Ito family began urging them to hold the engagement banquet. Originally, Willow had thought that getting engaged to Makoto Ito and eventually marrying him was only natural, something that would happen smoothly and inevitably. But she kept thinking about George. Maybe when a person suppresses their feelings for too long, they start to rebel. Or maybe it was because in the dorm she would occasionally hear Sophia calling George "darling" in that syrupy sweet voice. She kept her emotions tightly under control. Sophia, on the other hand, didn't notice anything unusual at all. Bullet comments floated by. The female side character has always admired strength and treated the female lead like an idol. She never guarded against her. It's normal for the female side character to fall for the male supporting role. In and out of the game, she's been completely handled and wrapped around his finger. I'm punk. I'm definitely not a vegetarian when it comes to dating. Afterward, I pinched her cheek and deliberately left a hickey on her skin. Marking my territory, I said. Her face turned red, but the excitement in her eyes was impossible to hide. And that obvious delight was completely noticed by Willow when Sophia returned to the dorm. Because I said I wanted to work hard to be worthy of Sophia, she started helping me integrate into high society. At first she worried I wouldn't be able to handle it. Later she realized I was practically thriving in that circle like a fish in water. Her eyes grew brighter. Bullet comments started complaining. Sai, the female side character, isn't exactly innocent either. In the original plot, she liked the male lead. When George was getting cyberbullied, she even mocked him, saying the clownish male supporting role brought it on himself. Other bullet comments said, Willow gives off major gloomy ghost vibes, always lurking in the corner watching the male supporting role and the female side character. Acting like she doesn't care on the surface, but realizing she basically became their matchmaker is driving her insane. Sophia and I became in-game partners in Magic Sword. Willow stared coldly at the screen, her eyes filled with darkness. Now my relationship and Makoto's had become a stark contrast. It was only natural that he couldn't stand me. Makoto frowned. In the group chat, some friends tried to comfort him while others threw sarcastic remarks. Someone said, with George at that level, it's normal you lost. He games every day, works out every day, studies every day. You can't outcompete that grind. He's still ranked first in the department by GPA this year. Makoto, how did you even lose your #1 spot? Makoto gripped his phone tightly. I glanced at his embarrassed expression and deliberately said, Don't worry. I love my wife very much. I won't interfere in your relationship anymore. I was curious what choice the so-called upright and magnanimous male lead would make. Actually, I'd given him more than one chance. As long as he didn't do what he did in the original story, posting online to whitewash himself and spread rumors about me, I could leave him a way out. Unfortunately, this time he made the wrong choice again. After a short while, he asked Sophia to meet him. Chapter 15. Sophia had always been a clingy little kitten. But recently, the clingy one had been looking at me differently. Bullet comments jumped in agitation. The male lead told the female side character that the male supporting role extorted him. Oh. The male supporting role's fake mask has fallen off. George is probably about to lose all his shine in Sophia's heart. Other bullet comments added, the female side character has emotional purity issues. The male lead also told her about the male supporting role kissing the female lead before. I didn't care about Sophia's sudden distance. Punk's third rule, and the most important one, love yourself first. Everything else, who gives a damn? Anyone who plays me or deceives me, I never hesitate to punish them. Tonight was Sophia's birthday banquet. Many familiar faces were present. She was obviously cold toward me. She couldn't hide her emotions. Quite a few people cast suspicious glances back and forth between us. From across the room, I raised my glass toward Makoto and gave him a meaningful smile. Makoto's expression stiffened. He almost failed to maintain his composure. A trace of unease crept into his heart. But when he saw Willow standing beside him, he steadied himself. In just a few days, the engagement banquet would be held. Willow would belong to him. When Willow saw me, I pretended to look lost and heartbroken, staggering out as if drunk. After standing outside in the wind for a while, I lifted my phone to my ear and said in a low, dejected voice, Sophia, let's break up. You deserve someone better. Bullet comments buzzed. What is the male supporting role pretending to do his phone's literally off? Who is he talking to? Oh damn, the female lead followed him. From the reflection in the glass, I saw the woman approaching. The moment she got close, I leaned in without hesitation and kissed her, acting drunk and mistaking her identity. I murmured, "Sophia, do you have to be so cold to me?" The woman in front of me trembled at first. Then she let me continue. Finally, she responded in kind. Bullet comments cursed. That bastard is pretending he kissed the wrong person on purpose. Male supporting role, where are your hands going? Don't touch her. When Makoto turned around and realized Willow was gone, his mind went blank instantly. Chapter 16. All of Punk's tactics lead to one ultimate goal: to get what you want. I pretended to be drunk and mistook her for someone else. She went along with the mistake. So I pushed further and asked her to help me to a hotel. An hour later, the air was filled with the scent of peaches. At the very end, that cold and beautiful face revealed an uncontrollably captivating expression. I fell asleep peacefully. The first thing I did after waking up was send Sophia a breakup message. With her kind of personality, she was only suitable for short-term, not long-term. What I wanted was not someone who could be swayed by a few words. Besides, she was too clingy. I didn't like that. I took a screenshot of the comment she had left under Makoto's post insulting me and without any burden broke up with her. Bullet comments jumped again. We forgot the female lead actually has that tendency. She likes being treated this way. She was a rule-following good girl for so long growing up that doing something out of line now feels especially thrilling. When I woke up, Willow Lu was no longer beside me. A huge scandal exploded among the wealthy families. The Lu family's heiress had checked into a hotel with Sophia's boyfriend on Sophia's birthday night. Someone in the bullet comments asked, "Is there going to be a dramatic mic-snatching scene later?" From initially cursing me out, the bullet comments had now completely given up. The male and female leads had no chance of getting back together anymore. I stretched lazily and posted on my account, taking a day off from streaming to rest. Chapter 17. Makoto's face was deathly pale. He didn't even want to think about what had happened last night. First, Sophia had been looking for George everywhere, and then she confronted him. She resented him for stirring up trouble and driving a wedge between people. She even blamed him for failing to keep an eye on his own fiancée. All he could feel was a crowd behind him laughing at him for being useless. Right after that, he saw Willow come back and start slapping Sophia, the two of them hitting each other. Seeing the hickeys on Willow's body, Sophia screamed, "You slut!" Then the birthday banquet ended early. The Lu family unilaterally released a statement. Makoto and I are now only childhood friends. As my heart already belongs to someone else, the engagement is hereby dissolved. Soon after, Willow tagged my livestream account to make our relationship public. The comment section exploded. Someone wrote, "How are you stealing your best friend's boyfriend? Are homewreckers this shameless now?" Others commented, "Makoto is seriously pitiful." And some said, "Oh wow, plot twist." Back then it was Makoto who told George to pursue his fiancée. Go to a campus and grab the popcorn. Before the gossip could spread far, it was completely suppressed overnight. Every bit of noise vanished. Makoto bombarded me with messages. He asked, "Didn't you promise me you wouldn't get together with Willow?" I replied righteously, "We're not together." She insisted on being the other woman. "You think I wanted this?" He stopped spiraling, staring at that sentence with unfocused eyes. Later, Makoto's account was doxed. He finally tasted what it felt like to be cyberbullied, the same online harassment the original owner of this body had once endured. He deleted his account and stopped coming to school. A month later, he messaged me saying he was going abroad to study. Then came a string of apologies. He said he had truly figured things out this time. He also said he had a dream where I was bullied online to death. I looked at the screen calmly and sent back one line, "Don't you dare jinx me." Then I deleted him. Chapter 18. The swelling on Sophia's face had barely gone down when she came to find me. George I was wrong. "Please don't leave me." Her eyes were red as she apologized. There was a shallow trace of love in them, but even more unwillingness to accept defeat. She said she didn't care about what happened between me and Willow. But as a seasoned punk, I knew that if we got back together, trouble would inevitably grow in the future. People's hearts are unpredictable. I wouldn't step into that trap lightly. So I rejected her decisively, only saying we could hang out occasionally. I treated Willow the same way. She was far too calculating. She wasn't right for me. During my years at school, I put the focus of my life entirely on myself. This time I stood at the top 4 years earlier than in my previous life. Makoto would check my account from time to time. Willow was no longer the aloof goddess he remembered around me, she was clingy. Later I climbed higher and higher. By the time I graduated, I had leapt into becoming a rising star in the business world, well known within the circle. Connections. Resources. The experience from my previous life. In this lifetime, I would never fall from the pedestal. Makoto looked at me in the video, his expression complicated. He should have hated me, yet now it was hard for him too. Before deciding to go abroad, he had come to see me. He asked if I were him, what would I do? I said, I probably would have gone abroad long ago. Why would I ruin my future over a woman? If Willow really liked me, she'd follow me overseas. A few years later Makoto saw that I had indeed gone abroad, and Willow had followed me there. Chapter 19. Willow's family did not approve of us being together. Her father even signed a check and told me to leave his daughter. I accepted it without hesitation. Who would have thought she would secretly follow me abroad? Her originally cold and distant face twisted in anger because of me. Her eyes were red as she glared at me. I said helplessly, "Your family doesn't agree. There's nothing I can do." Outsiders all said I was heartless. Back then I had dumped Sophia for the exact same reason. As for the Liu family, those people couldn't even stand their own daughter. I had even less interest in currying favor with them. Willow didn't respond. She simply took out a transfer agreement. To be fair, the money she had earned from live streaming over the years was no small amount. The love-struck heiress's only request was that I take her and elope. I pinched her cheek helplessly. 2 years later the Liu family compromised and extended an olive branch to me. In the first month after my company went public, the bullet comments disappeared. Only a single line remained, "Fine." Dong. The first chime of the new year rang out. Snow began to fall. The glass reflected my face, calm and clear. An era that completely belonged to me had begun.